Hello, I'm Jihad Kmail. I'm recording this video to demonstrate how to use Photoshop and Lightroom to edit the photograph. I'm recording this video as a part of the architectural photography module AR 846 as I study architectural visualization at University of Kent. Let's beginning with Lightroom. I'm not going to speak about every single detail in the both softwares, but it's a general demonstration how I use both softwares as we used it in the module. So this is the Lightroom interface. As we see on the left, there is the panels that help us to go to the photos that we have. So I browsed my folders in this panel, and I imported my every time I go for photograph, I import my folder here to just arrange that. So you can see here my collections. I make a collection for every tour. I will pick a rough picture that I will use to demonstrate the editing. So let us go to London folder. Actually, this is one of my best tools that I had. So let me pick this photo. I think it's the Tate Museum, uh, Tate Art Gallery, Tate Modern. I think its name. Yeah, it's in the Thames River. Well, I think I'm going to use the rule of third to center this element. Also, I like that we have a water in front. So you can see we are in the library mode. You see in the library you can toggle between the grid mode and the full screen for each photo mode. Okay, I'm going to develop tab here so that I can start developing this photo. Before developing it, I would like to do a virtual copy for my photo. A virtual copy is something like I made a copy for this photo, but the virtual copy is a copy that handle the changes that I made, so that if I made something wrong, I can back to the original one. So this is my virtual one. I already made this before. I can delete it, but just press delete. So this is my new virtual copy. I will edit this version. So going to develop, and we are ready to start the editing. In that day, I use 18 to 55 lens and a cropped camera sensor. So as you see there in the middle, always you will have a distortion. Also, you will notice that it has a chromatic aberration here. It's very obvious, so I need to correct that. So when you go to the editing tab, okay, so let's go to lens correction, and just press chromatic remove chromatic aberration. You will see in this area it was very obvious in this area, and you can see the difference. The red color here, it's almost totally removed, and this is so good. The other thing is to enable profile correction. So I can give the Lightroom the settings of my camera or what type of cameras I had. So it was Canon. It's a crop sensor 18 to 55 lens. And here we go. You see the difference between before and after. It's very obvious. Okay. And after correcting the image and removing the chromatic aberration, we are ready to correct the lines to make it vertically. One way of doing that is going to transform here. You can try auto level or vertical, but I always like to do it by hand. So when you put your mouse over these sliders, you can see the grid so that you can you can see the difference between the your vertical lines in the image and the real vertical lines. So I will push up this or push down the slider a little bit. I think now the camera, the image, the lines became vertical fairly enough. And okay, after that, I'm going to crop the image. So pressing the crop overlay in this field. Okay, as I mentioned before, I will use the rule of third. So I start change my crop area. Okay, actually, I like to maintain the ratio of this image, but I can from here change the ratio of my cropping area, but I will maintain like this, and I will put the main element at the third line to use the rule of third. Okay, and I will try to keep uh, similar distance uh, from the bottom and from the top, the sky and the water. And I think this is okay for me, just to make sure no white areas here. And I think here we go. Okay, so I'm done with the cropping, and now let me start change the or edit the colors. So actually, the time of taking this photo is not the best time, but okay, this is what I have for now. So I will make sure I have well saturated colors. I mean black and white levels, which is so important. So always I like to push down that dark level to saturate the colors more, also to push up the white colors. But it's not a rule always, because may your photo have the proper amount of black and white levels. So one way to do if you have proper or not levels or not, just to click over here and over here in this histogram. So when you click on this is for white and this is for black. When you click for it, you will see if you have uh, over plagued areas, it's gonna to be turned into blue, so you can know where to stop. Okay, you can switch it on or off, but I switch it on when I correct the black levels to know how much I need to push down the black level. I think this is almost good. And let me turn on the white, and the white level, this is control the sky as well. Actually, there is no big difference, so I prefer to keep it as it is. So you see, I don't need in my case to do a lot with black and white levels, but in other cases you may need that. But the most thing I need now is to correct the shadow area, which is too much dark. So I will uh, push up the slider, the shadow slider, little bit, and here we go. Okay, and push the contrast little bit. Actually, I think this is what I can do for now, but I always prefer to push down the highlight slider so that I can get more saturated and more obvious sky, and I think the exposure is almost good. I can push it up a little bit, but I like to do it or to dark to make some dark area in the front here, to let the viewer eye going directly into the building. So I will use the graduated filter here. I have two types of filter. This filter is something that we are using to make adjustment in only one area, not for all the image. So I will make some darkness here. I will press the graduated filter and put the area over there. Okay, so I will make it up to the river edge. Make sure everything is good and edit it. And for now, you will see you get a new tab which is masked for with this area. And this slider control the amount of the effects you have over this area. And when you open this tab, you will have the details here. So by default, it's overexposed just to make you notice the difference. But what I will do is to push it down to make it more dark like this. Okay, actually, there's much to do with this, but for this video, I just show mm, some techniques for video editing. Uh, one of the tools you will need a lot here is the spot removal. You need this to remove some spots from some areas. I want to remove this antenna from here, so let me make zoom in to this area to see this antenna, and I will use the spot removal from here. So I will increase the brush size to cover this area. Okay, actually I will start with a big brush size to make a little spot there. Okay, you can see it's covered this area with another area which is similar to it from here. So you still can control if you are not happy with the result here, you can control this area by changing the location of it or the size of it to control the result here. But for now I'm happy with this result, and I like to do another removal from this area. One click and press shift and make it up to here. You can see it covered the whole area. Okay, it copied from here some pixels, so I need to change it or to make it a little bit closer. Okay, I will use another software to continue my editing, just to show you how we demonstrate. So for now, I am done. Let me turn off this tool and back to the original image. So for now, in Lightroom, I am almost done, but I can continue my editing and Photoshop. Uh, One thing I like in Lightroom that you can take your photo in Photoshop without closing actually it in Lightroom. Uh, you can do it by uh, edit it from here, place the right button, and ask to edit it in Photoshop. It transforms the photo into Photoshop. Okay, I'm in the full screen mode. So this is my photo here, which I taken from Lightroom, but actually Photoshop no, it's still for the Lightroom. So I will finish my editing here and send it back to Lightroom. This process actually do not make you lose too much pixels while you are make some video editing. So let me use Photoshop to enhance the color range in this area. So what I would like to do is to duplicate this photo and to change the mode here to screen mode. So you can see you have a brighter areas in this area, a brighter color. But I don't want this colors in the river or in the sky. But to help me doing that, let me make color overlay to give it white and to uh, sorry, to give it red, and to down the opacity so that I can see the second layer, and when I make cleaning I can distinguish the original and the copied one. Okay, so for now let's assume that I am happy with the cleaning or with the erasing for now, and let me turn off the color overlay and See the difference? This is before, this is after. Okay, so I'm happy now that the color is much better in the in on my subject, which is the Tate Modern Art Gallery. Okay, I can erase more from the boundaries here because I don't really like to write the both side because they are not of my topic, out of my topic. So what I can do is to increase the brush size and to change the opacity for the erase, so I will not erase everything. Okay, and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Okay, for now, as you see, I just brightened the middle of the image, but as you can see here in this area, it's over brightened, or the cleaning is not so good. So I can just correct it. Okay, I also need to correct the spot removal in this area. So I will flatten the image and select make a selection in this area so that I will make sure that my editing is just in the sky, and I will use the spot removal tool or the clone stamp tool in the Photoshop, which is I really like. So just decrease the brush size a little bit. Here we go. I think now it's better than before. So when you finish editing in the Photoshop, just press save and close it and go back to Lightroom, and you will find the image is already edited. Okay, once I am happy with this result, I always give my photo a rate by pressing one number. The rates in Lightroom is from 1 to 5. So if you press 5, you give uh, this image a rate, or 4. So I will give it a rate of 2. Okay, so that later on, when you go to the library, you can filter the images by rate. So let me go to the library now, and I want to show just the 5 stars images, or just the 2 stars images. So you can filter your images by rating them. This is what I like to do. Uh, so you can anytime go back to your edited images, and also when I finish the editing, I export it to Jpeg uh, file. So just press on the right click and press export it. So you will see the window, the export window. Here you can specify the folder. So by default, it will remember the past folder you use. So I will choose the folder that I have for London. Oops, London, the amazing city. So I will choose this filter, select folder, and turn off the filter because already I have this folder, the subfolder filter, and make sure I have the full resolution. So this is the name of the prefix for the name of this photo. Okay, I am happy with that for now. And if you want to resize the image, I don't want to resize it for now, but if you want, you can do from here, and make sure you are happy with all settings. Always I put the quality to the maximum 100 and press export, and here we go. You can now go to your folder, sorry, in London folder, and and you can see your image. Thank you for watching my video, and hope to see you again in another video.